All right, guys, so I want to make sure I cover this story involving a mass shooting out of Laguna Woods, California, that involves a hero who lost his life when a madman went into a church and tried to open fire on about 40 people after service. Now, you guys may not have heard of this story, and the reason why is because, to be quite honest with you, this story is not politically convenient, okay? It's going to be swept under the rug because there's no woke cool points to be had from talking about this, right? And again, this is what really bothers me about when mass shootings and atrocities happen in this country. It seems that there's some shootings and atrocities that seem to be more important than others. Now, I understand that you can't cover everything, but the way this mass shooting is being ignored, especially considering the circumstances of why this occurred, the alleged circumstances of why this occurred, I find it deeply disturbing and indicative of an issue that, in my opinion, is contributing to the radicalization of people in this country. Basically, the mainstream media selectively covering issues based off, again, what is politically expedient for them and the narrative that they want to push. So we're going to talk about that because, again, the first hero that we talked about on my channel this past weekend, Mr. Aaron Salters, who's the retired police officer who died trying to protect civilians during the Buffalo mass shooting. Okay. Now, the next hero I want to talk about is Mr. John Chang, who died a hero trying to protect a church that is primarily Asian from a Chinese mass shooter that came in to commit this hate crime against these Taiwanese churchgoers. So let's go ahead and get into this video so that you guys can understand what happened in this situation, and then I'm going to give my opinion. Take a look.
The man arrested in the Orange County church shooting that left a doctor dead and several others wounded will be in court today. Eyewitness News reporter Tony Cabrera is live in Laguna Woods with the very latest. Tony.
The church property is still bordered with crime tape, and there are a number of flowers, as you can see here, that are on the outskirts of the property for the hero doctor who lost his life and the others who were injured. Some of the church members and people in the community gathered last night in Irvine for an emotional prayer vigil. They talked to us about the heroes, also the suspect who, from what it looked like, was prepared to kill as many people as possible. He is 68-year-old David Cho of Las Vegas. So far, we've learned he was not a regular attendee of Taiwanese Presbyterian Church or Geneva Presbyterian, where worship services take place. Right now, it appears he has no direct connection to the church or any member of the church. We do know that he's a U.S. citizen from China and may have been motivated by anger over political tensions between China and Taiwan right now. The luncheon Sunday was for the church's former pastor, Billy Chang, who had returned from Taiwan to give a special sermon. He said he rushed down the platform to help when the gunman entered and started shooting.
I don't want to reload or he want to take another gun. I didn't know. I think that's the moment I have to take action right away. I see the chairs in my left side. I win the ship to attack the shooter.
When will this be enough? When will we stop having people who become the face of evil?
The suspect is expected in court today, where it's possible we could learn more about his plan and his motive. In Laguna Woods, Tony Cabrera, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Okay, Tony, thank you for the update there. And this morning, we also have new reaction on that church shooting coming from the president of Taiwan. Her office says that she condemns any form of violence and extends her condolences to those killed and injured. Her office also says that she's asked Taiwan's chief representative in the United States to fly here to California to provide assistance. Now, according to Taiwanese media, the suspect in this shooting had ties to a Chinese-backed organization that is opposed to Taiwan's independence.
And yesterday's violence left one dead, 5 others injured, as Carlos just pointed out. And if it weren't for the actions of 52-year-old Dr. John Chang, who was killed in the Laguna Woods attack, the number of victims is likely to be higher. And Eyewitness News reporter David Gonzalez is live in Aliso Viejo with what we're learning about Dr. Chang. David.
David, Dr. John Chang helped co-found the South Coast Medical Group here in Aliso Viejo, which is about 4 miles from where that shooting took place. I'm going to step aside and show you right outside of the family practice. There is a small growing memorial from his patients and also some of his colleagues who today are calling him a hero. Tonight, Dr. John Chang is considered a hero and credited with saving countless lives inside Geneva Presbyterian Church after a gunman opened fire on Sunday. Dr. Chang was shot and killed after authorities say he rushed the shooter, giving others time to stop him from killing others.
I have no doubt that everybody that was in there would not be with us today had it not been for Dr. John Chang being there yesterday.
His work family says Dr. Chang was not part of that church. They say he had taken his mom there for the first time since his father passed away about a month ago. They say his family is heartbroken and in shock.
They're devastated, you know. He was their man, you know, and
we've pretty much lost our master.
They say Dr. Chang was a master of martial arts and taught everyone how to protect themselves in an emergency.
He was adamant that everybody should know how to defend themselves. I 100% know exactly. When they had said that he had gone across the room and charged him, I can see him doing that.
His colleagues say they always knew Dr. Chang had a passion for medicine and healing, and now he's hailed a hero for paying the ultimate sacrifice to save others.
He was a protector. And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, so obviously, guys, rest in peace to another hero, Mr. John Chang, who, just like Mr. Aaron Salters, died in the line of duty, right? In which, you know, you have a psychopath try to openly fire on people in public, and, you know, they did what they had to do to try to stop the psychopath, and unfortunately he lost his life. Now, during this incident, he wasn't the only person that tried to stop the shooter. Apparently a lot of people in the church actually ganged up on the shooter to stop him, and ended up hog tying him with an extension cord in order to actually you know, stop him in his tracks. So thank God that more people weren't injured or shot and killed during this incident. And I realized that, yes, only one person was killed during this incident compared to 10 in Buffalo. However, again, I got an issue with how the President of the United States and the Democrat Party have been so silent on this, okay? Because the Democrat Party has told us that they care about mass shootings so much, right? They care about mass shootings. They care about hate crimes. They care about racially motivated hate crimes. This event right here fits all three of those descriptions. However, Democrats and Joe Biden have been silent, okay? As Joe Biden is railing on about replacement theory and hate in this country, he has not mentioned anything about what happened in Laguna Woods whatsoever, okay? Hasn't mentioned anything. I mean, we have a guy who arguably was a Chinese terrorist, right? He was a Chinese terrorist who committed this act of hate allegedly because he had a problem with Taiwan's independence from China, which is a touchy issue for the Biden administration because this administration has failed to stand up to China and their bullying of Taiwan, right? Because he don't want to upset Daddy China, right? He don't want to upset Xi Jinping. He doesn't want to upset the country that his son allegedly does foreign business with, okay? Maybe that's what's going on here. I don't know, because why in the world is the Taiwanese president speaking out about this and saying something about this, but the president of the United States is not saying anything about this, okay? The president of Taiwan is sending people over here and doing all this stuff. They're taking it seriously. It didn't even happen in their country. But it happens right here in the United States. And again, the president of the United States is, you know, again, railing on about replacement theory because that is politically expedient, right? You can get brownie points off of that. Again, this is the same people, guys, the Democrat Party that told us up and down, told us all last year how much they care about Asian lives, okay? How much they're against Asian hate crimes. This right here is by definition an Asian hate crime in crickets, right? Which is par for the course when it comes to Democrats and Asian hate crimes because they've been ignoring Asian hate crimes this whole time unless the perpetrator of the hate crime happens to be white, right? Which in this case, the perpetrator of the crime was not white, okay? He was another Asian man, okay? So again, as we know, guys, if it's same race on same race violence, Democrats don't care. But I guarantee you, if this shooter was white, they would have mentioned it. They would have said, look, what happened in Buffalo? Black people are in danger. Asian people are in danger because of hate, right? Hate from the white supremacists. That's what they would have said. But again, you have this hate crime that's being committed, a racially motivated hate crime, okay, by a Chinese domestic terrorist. Democrats don't seem to care. Why is that? Because again, it doesn't fit the narrative. Doesn't fit the narrative. Biden hasn't even mentioned it at all. Chuck Schumer hasn't mentioned it. Nancy Pelosi haven't mentioned it. None of the Democrats have mentioned. They haven't said anything. Again, I get it. You can't cover everything. You can't talk about everything. But you would think that during a time like this, the same people that are talking about hate in this country and how bad it is and how it's costing people's lives, you would think that, hey, all this stuff kind of happened at the same time. We should be recognizing these events that are happening in this country. Okay? Whether it's hate coming from a self-described white supremacist or hate coming from some Asian man that doesn't like Taiwanese independence, right? Or hate coming from a black guy who decided to run over people during a Christmas parade, right? All that stuff should be recognized, okay? We should all be talking about this stuff. But see, again, that's not what's happening in this country. When we have this conversation about hate in this country, it's only directed towards a certain group of people. It's not directed towards anybody else, right? Again, if it's same race on same race hate, it is what it is. That's natural, right? That's natural. That's just the way the world works, right? But if it's white on another race violence, then that's hate. You know, we got to address that. This is such a big problem in this country, yada, 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 right? You know how it goes. Again, when people want to talk about what is radicalizing people, a part of that, I sincerely believe, is the selective outrage from the mainstream media in the Democrat Party when it comes to the lives that they choose to care about and the lives they choose not to care about. And this situation right here and the lack of recognition, the lack of attention that this is getting from the President of the United States, from the Democrat Party, in light of what happened in Buffalo, again, I think is another example of that. Okay, so again, with that being said, my thoughts and prayers are with the victims of this incident in Laguna Woods and also still in Buffalo as well too. And obviously, we had two heroes that died this weekend trying to protect innocent lives, and they should be recognized. Rest in peace to them. They were great Americans. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.